Fate, destiny, fatestinating. People toss those words around like tennis balls. Well, I eat balls for breakfast. That woman, so beautiful. I just know she feels the same way about me.
Where'd you move here from, dumb?
I have been lied to. All of you dumb fucks keep telling me, watch Joshua in the Promised Land. It's way worse than Well, guess what? I watched it. All of you told me how shit it was, how bad it was, how it's worse than any film I've reviewed. So I watched it, and you know what I saw? I saw one of the greatest cinematic experiences of all time. Quentin Tarantino wishes he could make Joshua in the goddamn Promised Land. Oppenheimer, more like Oppenheimer on these fucking balls. Apocalypse Now, more like Apocalypse on these fucking balls. Joshua in the Promised Land is a 2003 Christian film created by Jim Lyon, and that's all I know. Holy shit, Jim Lyon made this? It was apparently created over the course of 4 years, with Jim Lyon doing most if not all the work. And then, years later, Saberspark would cover it, making this movie way more popular than ever. Man, I wish Saberspark would do that to me. Apparently this movie is really, really bad, and worse than anything ever made. So now it's time for everyone to watch me get really mad and angry over how bad this movie is, because that is absolutely what's going to happen. So our film opens with, oh my god, this is the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. Wait a minute, Fountain Distribution? That was just the studio intro? That reminds me of what Kojima Productions would do with Death Stranding. Oh my god. How can you hate on this? This is amazing. Joshua in the Promised Land. I don't get it. Oh shit, Jonathan Djarman's in this? Oh my god, no way, they got a Harlan Green in this. Oh shit, Jim Lyon made this?
The Bible tells the story of a young man named Joshua, who was strong and full of courage.
Of course, a Jim Lyon Hallmark. Always begin with the pink fucking lion.
Our Joshua isn't really like that. He doesn't feel strong or brave, but he wishes he did.
Amazing! Incredible! Wow! We waste zero time and we are already in the film's plot. Wow. So this is Joshua, and he's living in the middle of a really bad family dispute. Of course, it's very generic and not very well written. And by that, I of course mean it's amazingly well written. Incredible!
Like tinkering around with that car again.
Hey, come on. This is my day off. This is what I'm gonna do.
Fuck you, nigga!
Nah, fuck you, bitch! Of course, the animation is just amazing, too. Reminds me of fucking Xavier Renegade Angel.
At least this brutal drought hasn't taken your poor grandma.
That's my daughter. She's 14.
Ooh, nice and legal.
I'm not sure if it's mocapped or hand done. It really does feel like some kind of Adult Swim cartoon. Like, if I saw this on TV at 2 a.m., I'd be laughing my goddamn ass off. Look at his hands! What are those? Look at the... Oh, by the way, this is a trend in the entirety of the movie. The audio mixing is terrible. It peaks very often, which means certain sounds are too loud and ear-piercing. Which means I have to turn down the audio so you guys aren't getting completely ear-fucked. Wow, this film's attention to detail is just incredible. That's on top of the audio being bit-crushed to hell. I've heard of PS2 games with higher quality audio than this. So due to his parents, Joshua is really sad. So he lies on his blanketless bed.
As you can see, Joshua feels kind of lost in the shuffle, and he doesn't know where to turn. That's why I think we should give him a little help.
Who the fuck even are you? You know, sometimes a little exposition is a little bit okay. That way you at least get what the fuck's going on. So this thing comes down, while the hottest trap beat of all time plays in the background. If you're wondering who this guy is, he's... and he claims to be able to help Joshua.
Who are you?
Some people call me the best friend, but my real name is Christopher Andrew Eugene Bazioni at your service.
The best friend. Incredible naming.
Listen, Joshua, I came here to take you on a little kind of trip, you know?
He's pulling his cock out. I got tons of furry porn in my van, Joshua.
You trust me, don't you?
I guess.
You trust the guy who sent me, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, just God sent him, I guess. Just not gonna question it. So Joshua's model goes through the roof. Yo, they in creative mode right now. And the two of them jump out the house, jump out the house, jump out the house, jump out the house.
Wow.
What are all those heads?
Where are we going?
Did you ever hear the phrase, somewhere over the rainbow?
It didn't answer his question at all.
If you've never seen one, this is a pyramid.
Oh, thank you. That's very helpful. So they're in ancient Egypt right now, where the Pharaoh has enslaved all the Jewish people.
You know, some people just never learn. God could hit them right over the head with a big, thick hammer, and they still don't get it.
I'm wondering where the hell they got that fucking sound effect from. I've heard higher quality audio on freesound.org. So the fucking best friend flies Joshua to the giant Sony Vegas green screen fire.
That's the presence of God there protecting the Hebrews.
Ah, of course! Proverbs 6:72 does say, thou shalt only use Adobe After Effects CS2. And the Lord said, you shall edit this like a Channel Awesome video. So they make it to Gaussian Blur Island.
Joshua, sometimes a no means maybe. I'll grant you that.
Oh, hey, that's what Justin Roiland said. But then we see, oh my goodness.
According to the Bible, Moses is the guy God picked to do all his miracles.
Oh, that's Moses, of course. Yeah, who else would it be? But then we get a... Whoa. So Joshua's in this guy's body now, I guess. And the other guy flies away. All while Moses parts the Red Sea, I guess. Man, I wonder if non-Christians understand what the fuck is going on. You need divine intervention to understand the fucking plot of this movie. So they all cross the Red Sea. Joshua then falls into the water and meets a giant shark, I guess. Yeah, that happens. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh chases them. Once again, these graphics are just incredible. Dead Space remake. This right here, this is the real shit. So the one guy then comes back, and Joshua's all like, I want to go home, but the one guy's all like, hey, look over there. And we watch the Pharaoh get obliterated by the power of the Big G, all while the loudest noise of all time plays.
Nuke radio. We make your eardrums bleed. Legalize nuclear bombs.
So this guy explains that everyone's starving.
It's the middle of the desert, so it's not like they can go find the nearest restaurant.
Yes, thank you. But thankfully, hyper-realistic green screen birds come in. Holy shit, those are the real graphics of the birds? Oh, also, Moses knows who Joshua is now. So Joshua hits the fucking gritty. By the might of God, he is getting nasty. We then get Joshua's, I don't want to know what that is.
The quail didn't last long, so God also gave them something called manna. It's like a cookie, only it's really good for you.
The way they describe this shit is just really funny. It's like they're not entirely sure how to describe it.
These guys just love to complain. Sure, they had enough food, but they didn't have enough water.
Oh, what fucking whiners? Not enough water? Wow, we're in the desert. Wow, we're gonna die in like 5 days. We get more incredible animation. But uh-oh, the Amalekites are planning an attack. And Moses puts Joshua as the head of the army. But Joshua is...
He looks like a deer caught in the headlights, doesn't he?
Bitch, I'm a deer caught in headlights. What the fuck's going on? So the battle begins with this guy facing in front of this guy. And Joshua gives one of the best speeches of all time.
If God fights with us, who can stand against us?
Oh yes, one sentence is all it took. So the epic battle begins. And wow, look at how incredible this battle is. Amazing. So 20 years later, they end up winning the battle. Later that night, though, Moses is called by a 2013 Channel Awesome audition.
Last time on Jamboree Reviews, a criminal hacker called Etex interrupted my show.
God then talks about the 10 Commandments and all that. And yeah, that's about it.
These are all the elders going up the mountain of God with Moses. You might call it a kind of leadership training seminar.
Yeah, the kids will totally know what that is. Holy shit, it's the holy brick floor. So Joshua and Moses go up to Mount Sinai. But just like the original story, Joshua is forced to wait for 40 days. But at long last, after more amazing special effects, the 10 Commandments are finally created. But then Moses sees the people worshiping the idol and...
No!
See this thing right here? It's a crude statue called the Golden Calf.
Looks like a fucking sheep. Terrible craftsmanship. So Moses goes back up, grabs new stone tablets, and they put them in the Ark of the Covenant. You know, standard Indiana Jones source material shit. Oh no, it's the floating cum! So more shit happens.
I bet you're wondering what Joshua is doing.
I'm wondering what anything is doing in this movie. So he's in Jericho, where they sacrifice babies and clone the same model over and over again. So Joshua goes to a campfire where the one guy visits him again. And Joshua tells him what happened.
Did you see anything weird?
What do you mean?
Like evil.
They killed a baby.
That music is way too uplifting for that kind of event. You know how VeggieTales will kind of omit parts of the Bible for children? Yeah, this is why?
Aha. Ritual sacrifice. These people are doing things detestable to God. They murder, they steal, they commit adultery.
What's that?
Never mind that.
Ah, yes, child murder is okay to talk about. But cheating on your girlfriend? Nah, we can't talk about that. So Joshua's all like, we gotta kill Jericho. But sadly, Jericho's army outnumbers our heroes. So everyone's getting really mad right now.
Stone him! Stone him!
Also, they used the same line twice for some reason.
We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt. We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt.
The land we...
Moses then prays to God and the nostalgia-critic fog comes out. And as with the original story, the Israelites are forced to walk for 40 years. Moses disobeys God and dies. But before he does, he makes Joshua the new leader of the holy people. So now it's time for the Joshua arc to happen. And at long last, they're ready to take over Jericho. However, instead of fighting, they simply walk around Jericho for 6 days, as was the case in the source material, the original manga.
The ark circled Jericho once a day for 6 straight days. No one in the city could figure out what the heck was going on.
Man, the storytelling just isn't nearly as good as the manga Messiah. So the towers fall down and yeah, and abruptly the one guy's all like, "You ready to wake up, Joshua?" And then yeah. So Joshua arrives home, and the one guy says things won't be the same or something.
You live at a different age than Joshua did. The dream was just a taste of what you can have.
I'm not entirely sure what the moral is supposed to be. Is it be brave? Believe in God? I genuinely have no idea. But then he leaves, I guess. And then whatever the fuck this is happens. Whoa, you go, Joshua. I don't know what you're doing, but you go, buddy. Meanwhile, his parents are still arguing. But then Joshua arrives and sits down for dinner. And then out of nowhere, everything just resolves itself.
Darling?
Yes, dear.
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
And that's it?
And they lived happily ever after. Okay, maybe not all the time.
Oh yes, enjoy your traumatic childhood, kids.
Just goes to show you what a little courage can do. With God's blessing, of course.
But Joshua didn't do anything. He just teleported him away to Bible times for 40 minutes, and then everything just resolves itself. He doesn't learn anything. He doesn't change. What did the story have to do with anything? This is like the worst moral I have ever seen in a movie, because I don't even know what the fucking moral is. Did the guys making this know? What does it mean, Jim Lion? What does it mean? Well, that was Joshua and the Promised Land. The film that I was told is the worst animated film of all time. And look, yes, the film is really, really bad and even more incompetent. The animation is, look at it. The moral is even worse. The story is literally incoherent. Things just happen and they aren't properly communicated at all. But here's the thing. In the grand realm of Alpha and Omegas and El Arcas and Little Carses, I really can't call this the worst animated film of all time. And for one simple reason, this is a passion project. On a technical level, yeah, it's worse than Alpha and Omega, but a film like Alpha and Omega and its many sequels merely exists to be derivative. They exist only to make money. Hell, my last 2 reviews were on Uncharted and Velma. 2 works that are based on pre-existing IPs, and yet end up being incredibly derivative. One work being a generic action movie, and the other being a derivative adult comedy. By all means, these works are all creatively bankrupt, made by people who didn't really care about what they were making. Joshua and the Promised Land, though, that's a very different story. I feel like Jim Lion really cared about what he was making. He and his ragtag group of voice actors, potentially even family and friends, came together to just simply make something, to create a work that they could share with the world. This movie really does feel like a passion project, and while the people making it clearly lacked the talent to actually make it good, they were making a piece of art that they did actually care about. And you know what happened? You know what fucking happened? The movie came out. They released it to the world. So in my mind, Jim Lion won. He created something of his own volition, and even if negative, people embraced it. And you know what? That's admirable. Jim Lion made a movie he wanted to make. And the last thing that we can call him is a hack. Joshua and the Promised Land is a lot of things. Incoherent, terrible, tone deaf, poorly animated, poorly put together. But one thing it absolutely isn't is soulless. No, it's not a good movie, of course. But the thing that puts it above Alpha and Omega and Uncharted is this. Jim Lion, simply put, cared about his movie. As someone who myself is an aspiring writer, there's something positive I can learn from Jim Lion. Make the work you want to make. Make the art you want to make. And if it sucks, well, who cares? You expressed yourself. And that to me is more important than anything, really. Jim Lion made something. It's not pretty, it's not great, but it's his. And that takes a lot of balls to release. I don't know how to end this video. I like penis.
Fuck you in the lanes you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, all that shit it fits. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star. I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds. I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn, hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.
How normal people order at a fast food restaurant. Hey, sir, welcome to McDonald's. What would you like to order? Hey, I'd like to order the 6...